Greetings from Revealing the Hidden. Hope you all are safe and sound. And today we are going to discuss yet another important topic, that is healthy marriage. Marriage is not the wedding bells, what is there for one day that we celebrate every year. Marriage is somewhere in the middle of the year. We start to have a companion with us until death separate us apart. We are supposed to be together. So we need to decide whether it should be healthy so that the people around us, that is the in-laws, the husband, the children, everyone can have a very good life because of me. So we will discuss about this particular topic, and we have wonderful Antigone to discuss the same. Welcome, Bonnie, to another session of marriage, and we are discussing about healthy marriage. Bonnie, by what signs can we understand is our marriage healthy?
Okay, thank you again for having me. And I think healthy marriages is something that it's a beautiful topic in itself, but it does a lot of hard work.
Right.
I think healthy, even the word healthy, does not denote that you have six-pack abs, you have a good metabolism rate, and all those kind of things. Healthy is also with the mind. So I think same way if you apply it in the marriage, the signs for a healthy marriage would actually not just start with your physical self, but it will start with the spirit. It will start with your mind. It will start with what you're thinking or what you're saying. So I think healthy for me are three. It's like a triangle again, but it's like three triangles, like body, mind, and soul. So you need to be healthy on all these three aspects. So that healthiness will have to be with what you speak, with what you hear. So also depends upon what your spouse speaks to you. Then it also talks about what you eat. So it also means what you consume. What kind of things are you consuming from the world? Is it things about negative stuff or positive stuff? What are you saying? Are you saying positive stuff? There would be situations which would be negative, but how do you react in those situations? Your response to those situations. Then it would be also about the body, which is obviously how much do you exercise. Like, are you exercising acts of love? Are you talking in love? Are you thinking of the other person? Is there empathy? There are a lot of things that you can talk about science, but I think one of the biggest things is in healthy marriage is hard work. Are you committed to do the hard work to ensure that your marriage is healthy, to ensure that the unspoken language of marriage is that a healthy language? And I think the last thing is the spirit, but which is the most important thing is we all know that marriage is not just between two people, it's between two souls. It's between two it's a spiritual journey which we take, and in that journey health is important because of the belief system. So I think in a marriage, a healthy marriage would also be where both the husband and the wife, they are aligned together even in their spiritual beliefs, because majority of the conflict starts to happen when people have different faith and they try to compromise on the faith, but that compromise does not come to a common ground, and because of which then they call it off. So I think one of the biggest signs is you need to have unity, you need to have empathy, you need to have alignment, and I think the list can go on and on, but first and foremost is, are you ready to put in the hard work?
Very good, Bonnie. You really brought a 40 years of marriage in a natural thing. Yes, to add on to it, as you said, commitment is very important. Commitment is something to do with the integrity of a person.
True.
If you are not you are not committed, that really shows that you don't have integrity in your character.
True.
So, as a newly wedded wife or a husband, if I'm not having that integrity of my marriage, integrity of my character, marriage is a learning ground where you can learn the character of commitment.
True.
Then, as you said that another important thing is the intimacy you need to have. When people talk about marriage, the first thing all think about the physical intimacy. But I learned from life that physical intimacy can be done even without an emotional intimacy. This can be reflected in any kind of relationship, especially with prostitutes or call girls or call boys, because they are physically having an intimacy where there is no connection.
True.
And this actually will not work in marriage, because marriage is something more to do with emotional, which is bounded with legal threats as well.
True.
Than I'm going to relate to a person whom I don't know.
True, very true.
Then the healthy marriage is something to have with sharing values. See, if I want to talk about my husband, actually we were like black and white difference. We had difference. That is, the way he speak, he think is completely opposite the way I used to do. But now reached to a point that we speak similar lines, we think in similar lines. So this is the way marriage taught both of us. Both compromised. It's not that one compromised. There are some things I cannot change because it is instinct or innate from my birth. Whereas Jones need to compromise. Whereas I know there are some things Jones cannot completely change. So I need to compromise. So these are the important points we need to bring into our life, because otherwise our children will see what is happening and they will reflect it in their marriage tomorrow.
True.
So we need to be careful how my life inside our life inside the four walls.
Correct.
Now the important point I would like to speak is the how I manage the conflicts. If John shouts at me, shouting back is not the way of response. So initially we used to shout at each other, and there were times I moved out of the house and there were barking dogs around, and I came back with more speed. So there were times, initial days of marriage. Now we reached to a level that one shouts, the other one keeps quiet.
Yeah, I think that is important, because
this also shows that we grew in marriage. Because there are some things the judge cannot accept what I'm doing, our children are doing. I may talk for children, so I keep quiet, and after some time I will go to him and say what I meant, what we are expected to do. So I would say we learned. We are not perfect. We learn out of our marriage. Change of behavior is very important in marriage. I may like coffee, my husband may like tea. Someone need to compromise.
Otherwise, both.
Otherwise, coffee, tea all the time. So I just took an example. So this kind of little behavior modification will be good. And don't be dominant in the other person's character.
Okay.
I mean behavior. Don't show dominance. Keep your spouse next to you, man or woman. There is no gender bias, so that you can hold and respect the feeling of the next person.
Correct.
Then I would like to talk about the term satisfaction. The spouse need to satisfy the next person.
True.
Now I need to define what is satisfaction. It is not that I mean to say that my husband should satisfy all my needs. I may need to lower my threshold of satisfaction so that I can match up with my spouse.
True.
It's not that my threshold is here and my husband is here. I want this gap. This is the main reason of extramarital relationship, because the spouse is not able to meet the threshold. Bring down your threshold so that we are able to match up with their life. Now the point you said about communication. Communication is very important, and I lagged in that. My husband moved out from the house, will say, I'm getting out. I reached, I came back. Whereas once I moved from my house, I don't have any kind of communication. But I learned that my husband expects me to have an update so that he's at peace, or he is able to understand how to prepare or how to coordinate. So I learned. So these are some of the things I would say would like to have in a good marriage. Anything to add?
I think I'll add on that. When you said about satisfaction, and when you spoke about how people tend to seek satisfaction, I think I'll give you an analogy of the 80-20 principle applied in marriage is that when you marry and when you when somebody looks for matches, and when they decide, okay, this person matches 80% of what I want, or maybe even 100% of what I want, and slowly and steadily that maybe 100% or whatever starts to become just 80, and then you start to realize, oh, but I also have these. So those ones which are not fulfilled by your spouse or by your partner become somewhere corresponds to about 10 to 20%. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been with the person, right? So, but 80 to 90 of it is already there that your spouse is giving. But because of that 10-20% which is not, you tend to seek that out. And when you try to seek that out, you find it. Obviously, you find it because nobody is perfect, but nobody is empty as well. So you will find that 10-20%, but that 10-20% person will not have the remaining 80 or the 90. And that is where people try to merge the gap and say that, oh, I have these needs, I have these 10 needs, my spouse is giving me 8, I'll look at the other 2 somewhere else. And that is exactly where in the entire quest to fulfill your 1 or 2 needs, you leave the person who can fulfill all your other 8 needs. So I think there is foolishness in that, and there is also wisdom to learn, is that what is more important, the 80% or the 20 or the 10%. So I think in marriage also, as you said, compromise, it's also about helping each one to reach their own goal. So I think a happy marriage, a healthy marriage is also a happy marriage, and a hardworking marriage. And marriage takes efforts. Marriage is not something that, okay, you just get married and that's all. It's a starting journey, but it's a journey where there is a lot of hard work. There is heart involved in the marriage, and that heart is that every time just saying hi, hello will not do. Small talk will not do. You will have to talk hard conversations. You will have to take hard decisions, and there will be decisions of the heart. Like your heart may want to do something, but obviously you can't. You will have 2 hearts to deal with. So you will have to see whether the other person's heart is of more value of yours, in the sense, in terms of moving out for decision making or work, or moving to a different city, or choosing which city to go. Sometimes your heart will want to say something, sometimes you'll want something else. But that's exactly where you need to take hard decisions. There's a lot of hard work, and I think one of the biggest signs for a healthy marriage is happiness. Which means, I would call happiness means holidays. Like, plan the holidays so well that you have fun, that you have, you end up knowing the other person even during the holiday or even during a vacation time. And marriage is where you don't just be restricted to just one place, but you are a happening couple. Or healthy marriage is a happening couple where you may not take photos for social media, but you will cherish every moment spent with that person. So just this is a culture that we are becoming opposing culture, wherein we smile only when there's a camera in front of us, but we need to pose and smile when there is no camera. We need to be happy when nobody is looking. Especially in a marriage, a healthy marriage will not necessitate a camera to make us smile.
Even though you're not married, Bonnie, you spoke well on marriage. I really wish to have a good marriage for you because your principles are good. I want to add little more points. I was thinking, actually my thought process going on when you are speaking on all those things. Do not insult your spouse in front of others.
Yes.
It is a mandatory thing. Have empathy on your spouse and try to avoid being harsh, even man or woman, because no one can stamp over the other person.
Yeah.
Both are equally brought up by 2 different families with the hard work of their parents. So you have no right to insult your husband or wife. So we can be empathetic and don't abuse your spouse. It is not only sexual. You have no right to raise your hand to your spouse.
True.
So I can't say that it's husband always raise their hand. No. I know the cases where wife give them left and right to the husband. You have no right. Even by words or physical, emotional or sexual abuse. And sexual abuse in marriage is too much. We have a topic on that. If you're not considering the emotions and mental ability of your spouse and having a sexual relationship just for minding, it's a sexual abuse in marriage. So that we need to be careful about. We need to talk about all those things. Other than that, I want to add the family or marriage is a priority in your life.
True.
If career, your beauty, or anything else is more than marriage in your life, then the chaos starts over there. Financial budgeting is another important thing. I've seen the partners are always of two extremely opposite character. One can be controlling the money, the other will be spending the money. You need to come to a conclusion how much to spend. Is your expenditures more than the income of the family? We are not living to show off to others.
Correct.
Others have no right to speak in our marriage. It is our marriage, our life, how we are managing till we reach our last breath. So this is marriage. So I think we spoke very good about healthy marriage, and next week we are coming with another important topic. Till that, stay safe and stay happy. Thank you.